Hello friends, welcome back to Season 9 War 2. Today we're taking on MNL72 Moonlight. I'll be taking in my same reliable team, Voidblade and Ghost Rider today. This was a bit of a weird war. A lot of 4 stars on this defense, and this alliance actually had a rating that was higher than ours. So, speaking of 4 stars, here is the first one. It is a Hyperion on the Poison Bleed Limber node. I used to struggle a lot with Hyperion. Specifically, I felt like the game was rigged against me, where he just refused to throw his special attacks. So I don't know if he has a very specific profile assigned to him, where you have to leave yourself wide open, as much as possible in order for him to use his specials. And once I kind of got used to fighting him like that, he became a lot easier. You can't really let him throw his heavy attack because his heavy animation is so long it wastes a lot of time for that power gain to catch up. And then once you get the petrifies up like I have here, he becomes just a walk in the park. So I don't have to worry about baiting out the specials as much. There's no urgency, as it were. So, and he goes down because he's a 4-star, and I think my PI was about as high as his was. So, all right. Next up, we have a Mystic Champ on the Recovery Limber. You can see he's got 3 persistent charges, so we know going in it's Mephisto. Briefly considered going in with Blade here, just for the danger sense. However, I didn't want to take any chances with the Aura proccing, even though it probably would have procced at a lower clip than normally. I decided just to take advantage of the Incinerate immunity and just play normal with Void. If I got lucky and got the Petrifies up to nerf his regen at the end here, then so be it. As you can see there, I just got the second Petrify like a split instant before the regen kicked in, so a little bit of luck there. And Mephisto really goes down without any problems. Alright, so we have a Red Hulk on the Buffet Recovery node, which is an interesting choice considering there is really no regen with him unless you push him to his S2. You notice I did not boost up here. I actually had to clear this node early for an alliance mate who was boosted and needed the link cleared. So I decided, rather than boost twice, with the danger sense and with class advantage, I figured I'd be fine. Buffet would be, the occurrences would be less frequent with danger sense. Lots of bleeds going on here. I didn't think damage would be any problem here. Now, something interesting does happen here, and I will freeze frame it when it gets to it. But this isn't really that interesting of a fight. But we're going to come up on what I think is just a quirk in the animation here. So he's going to I'm going to go in a combo here. Now watch, I am all the way across the screen, and he's going to wind up for a heavy. I don't move because I think I'm out of the range. Nope, he snaps all the way across the screen and nails me with a heavy attack. And I feel like this happens all the time with not just Red Hulk, with a lot of champs, where you feel like you are out of range of the heavy, and they just zoom forward and hit you with it. So very irritating to lose some health that way. Alright, doing the rest of the path later that evening. This is yet another Infinity War Iron Man. I am going to boost up. It's a good thing that they have, we had a long off season to kind of catch up on these boosts. Between AQ and the class combat solo events. Actually, today, as I'm recording this, they're on the 3rd one in a row. So I will be getting 3 lesser attack boosts today, just from today, using nothing but energy, which is great. This Infinity War Iron Man is pretty standard. I think I do get tagged here at some point. I think I'm late on a heavy, and he nails me with the blade arm. Doesn't do a lot of damage, but gives me an armor break, which I can heal a bit back from using willpower. But other than that, pretty standard fight. I'm very used to this fight. Seems like I face an Infinity War, Iron Man here. Pretty much every war. I'm looking at my stats from last season here while this plays, and it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 out of 12 wars last season. He was on this node, so I'm always tempted during this fight to use my special attack, but even when so there's I'm getting tagged with the heavy. Willpower's healed me up a little bit. Again, just it's not gonna kill me, but each of these mistakes in this case, or the heavy snap bug in the previous case, I mean this results in me needing to use resources, and it's very frustrating when going back to the Red Hulk thing. It's frustrating when things like that exist in the game and are never acknowledged, never fixed, let alone acknowledged by Kabam. But when there's a bug with the Nick Fury synergy that allows him to purify more debuffs than necessary or than intended, man, they push a fix out there next day. I've been in software development myself for 15 years now, and it's hard to blame the developers because they're only doing what the business side is telling them to do. So they're probably getting direction from the senior execs saying only fix what you absolutely need to. We're in here to make as much money as we can off of this cash cow, and people aren't going to stop playing, aren't going to stop paying because of these bugs. So it is what it is. All right, next up is possibly the greatest Korg fight I've ever had in my life. So I did a combat regen here just because I knew I was going to take the Thorns damage. This guy is 565, Sig 200, so max Thorns, but I played it, I would say 99% perfectly, and I say 99%. There is one point where I miscount my my combo, and I throw a special one while he still has his rock shield up, and he eats the debuff. But other than that, this fight is just, I've watched it on replay on my phone when I was recording, probably 6 or 7 times since, and every time I'm just, I don't know, I'm very proud of it, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, we're almost a minute in, and it really doesn't look like I'm doing much damage. But I know that's how a lot of high health Void fights look, especially when I get the Petrifies up and Fear of the Void up. The damage is going to skyrocket. The Arc Overload is going to start degenning back down to Earth. Another thing that I've gotten used to with Korg is dodging fully the S1, whereas before, as you can see here, that foot stomp is the key there. Whereas before, I would try and push him to his S2, and if he threw his S1, I would just basically eat it. I'm now able to evade that. I've also kind of changed up my Korg strategy a bit. In previous seasons, I would try and just take the block damage and bait out the heavy. But you're taking a lot of block damage that way. So what I've kind of switched to doing is just parrying him no matter what. And he's got like a 60% chance or so to shrug off the debuff when he's awakened. So only 40% of the time the stun is actually going to work. The other times you're giving him an extra rock charge, but in the scheme of things, I really don't think it matters because, towards the middle and the end of the fight, his rock charges are decreasing every time the shield reforms. So there you go. Korg goes down, 100-some plus hits, no hits taken. Really, really proud of that fight. All right, last but not least is a 565 Magic. Considered going in with the Void, but with the Danger Sense, lessening the number of times that Limbo will proc, plus the ability to heal from the Limbo damage mid-fight, I went in with Blade. He's like the answer to Magic in nearly every case. This is a strike back node, so you'll notice that I'm not using my special attacks. The thinking here was that if I happen to get parried, I would be sitting at max power, so the parry would be shrugged off immediately, and then I could use my energy to heal back any limbo damage if I got some real bad RNG and she just started laying waste to me with the energy damage. But less than a minute in, she's already below half health. The limbo procs have not really been there. I've been very careful. As you can see, when I push her over bar power, I pretty much always just back off rather than continuing to attack into her, which is futile when limbo's up, and just giving her more power. So trying to bait out the special attacks here. You can see a couple limbos later, she's taken off about a third. So really important, I think, to keep that energy up so you can heal if needed. Other than that, yeah, using a special against her is really dangerous because giving her a bar of power pretty much gives you another shot at getting limboed. So another good reason to just hold them. And Blades bleed damage, really wins the day here. So all in all, a good war for me. We did end up taking the victory. This is the second war in a row where our defense has not been cleared. Pretty happy with that. This was a Tier 2 war for us. We didn't spend a lot of time in Tier 2 last season, but I'm really happy to get the Tier 2 points. Maybe we'll finally be able to cross into Platinum 2 this season. We'll see. Used quite a few potions this time around, not as many as last time, so these are my cumulative totals. 2 L3s, 13 L4s. Still the one death from War 1, and that brings our season record to 2-0. So off to a really great start this season. Very happy with what we're doing. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.